we're live.
All right. Yay.
Hey, everybody, gather the nerds, episode 28.
What's up, guys?
Facebook Live. What's up, guys? We're gonna Facebook Live the whole show today, which should be pretty interesting and pretty fun. We hope, yeah. You'll get to stare at our ugly mugs, as I say, for the next little while. This is episode 28. I'm Cab. That's Nick.
What's up?
This is Big Game Sunday.
It is.
Because we're not allowed to say the two words, so we're going to steal something from Stephen Colbert and call it the Superb Owl Edition.
Okay.
Instead of the other one. We're going to get into why you're not supposed to say the word Super Bowl.
Okay. Is it a superstition?
It is not a superstition.
Okay.
In advertising, you're not supposed to use the word Super Bowl to advertise anything. So since we're not advertising, but today is Super Bowl Sunday.
You said it like 4 times.
Bring it, NFL.
Yeah.
So
no, please don't.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about that, but first we'll get into some other stuff. Let's see here. Yesterday, thanks everybody who joined me and my buddy Phil yesterday on the box break. That seemed to go over pretty well. That was a lot of fun. We're still cleaning up the 1,000 cards.
As I'm kind of gently pushing them around to get my stuff set up here.
Yeah, we've also got, if you watched the live stream yesterday of the box break, that ridiculous 1-of-1 Donruss bronze thing is out on eBay right now for a whopping $9,999.99 or best offer. So I've had one offer already from somebody we know. And so, hi, church. So,
also known as the guy that was in the video yesterday.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
So where do we want to start? We've got some cool news about the Dallas convention that's coming up. Nicolas Cage is going to make his first appearance on the podcast. It's an article about Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
We've got some Star Wars and Batman. We're going to talk about Powerless, GameStop, and their whatever you want to call it.
Circle of Life.
Circle of Life.
Which sounds terrifying.
And then we'll wrap up at the end with Super Bowl related, their Superb Owl related stuff. Okay. So
Superb Owl.
Superb Owl. So where do you want to start?
Let's talk about Nicolas Cage. I feel like we've not given him his due diligence. I mean, the dude was Ghost Rider.
Nick Cage. So here's what I did not realize. There's a Nicolas Cage convention, and I didn't realize that there was one.
Wait, what?
There's a Nicolas Cage convention. So there's
like just his convention.
Yeah, it says, according to Entertainment Weekly, this is from Hello Giggles, Greg McLennan from Austin, Texas, has been hosting a Nicolas Cage film festival called Caged for the last 3 years. McLennan plays a marathon of the actor's films and hopes that one day Nick himself actually shows up. At this year's event called Caged Forever, McLennan was greeted by one heck of a surprise. Nicolas Cage actually showed up.
Okay, so this is a fan put on deal that has nothing to do with him.
Yep.
But it's all about him.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I'm impressed.
I'm very impressed. Let me close something out here.
I mean, that's a lot of work.
The star of films such as Face Off was one of my favorites. Moonstruck, Fairyland turned up in Austin to attend Caged Forever. Not only that, he selected 4 of his own films to watch: Bangkok Dangerous, Joe, Bringing Out the Dead, Army of One, and Lord of War. Then hosted an impromptu question and answer session for 45 minutes. There's video of this.
I'm seeing this on this link.
Cage then proceeded to give an 11-minute dramatic reading of Edgar Allan Poe's Gothic short story, The Telltale Heart, which it says it's the most extra Nick Cage reading of this story ever. Not only is it incredible Nick Cage decided to show up at a film festival dedicated to himself, but we love that he stayed, answered questions, gave an amazing performance too. That's awesome. Like that's
what is the cake on the table for?
I'm sure it's just a cake for something.
Okay. Obviously, it's a cake for something.
Well, you've got to figure out like how many people do you figure show up to a Nick Cage convention to watch 4 of his movies at a time? What, like, a few people maybe?
Apparently enough for that small cake.
And that could be. So,
do you think he got the corner piece?
If he's smart, he got the corner piece.
That's the best icing.
It looked like there's a 4 on top. I think they look like 4 candles, so it's probably for that. Mm-hmm. I need to be more aware of when this is, like, because I will totally go to Austin. This is Austin, Texas.
Oh yeah, that's totally
that's doable. I will absolutely next time it is the Caged Film Festival. We will do that. I will. We need to keep an eye out for that for sure.
Yeah, that's doable for sure.
We funnily enough, there is a something that my sister and a couple of our friends do. We have a bad movie festival that we do every year. It's a weekend. And it's not this 4-movie stuff. This is like 10 movies over a weekend. And it's usually like head to head. Like we've done
like Sharknado 1, Sharknado 2.
Well, usually it's bad actors head to head. So you're talking like, Jean-Claude Van Damme versus Chuck Norris, or David Hasselhoff versus Lorenzo Lamas, or stuff like that. So we do we haven't done it in a few years, but it's called Bad Movie Fest.
Okay.
And so we're going to hopefully bring that back in 2017, where we just sit around all weekend and watch horrible, horrible movies. It sounds awful. It's a lot of fun.
I think it depends on the movie, because there's got to be there's some humor there too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because you're laughing at the production quality and all that. So
yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll listen to this. I was texting with my sister right before we started.
Well, I'm going to invite myself.
Hey,
just so you know.
Okay. I said with my sister right before we started. She's like, Green Apple Skittles, really? Like she's listening to last week's episode.
Yeah. What does she like them?
I don't know. I assume not. Like if she is, she's not my sister.
Right. Body snatched.
Pretty much. Let's see what else we got. Something very interesting happened. So Kal Penn, which we know from Harold and Kumar, he was on House for a little while too. Some idiot decided to tweet him and say, like, you don't belong in this country, go back to your country, with all the hoopla, which we're not going to go into, right?
Sure.
He says you need to leave this country, you need to whatever. Little does he know, one, he was born in this country.
Mm-hmm.
He worked for the White House. And so he took this tweet and he opened a crowd rise to raise money for Syrian refugees. So the initial thing was like $25,000 he wanted to raise. Word got out very quickly about this whole thing, and he even made it in the honor of this guy, like in the honor of the guy who told him to leave the country or whatever.
Right.
Let's see here. As of right now, the original goal was $25,000. As of right now, they've raised $853,670.
That's insane.
So they're gonna try the original goal is $2,500.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
And so they're gonna try. It sounds like they're gonna try and break the $1 million mark. But that's just one of those things that shows how social media can, social media can drive. When you use the platform properly, you can do a lot of cool things.
Well, I'm not going to say. Well, I'm not saying anything bad here, but the how he listed out the donation levels in terms of the reasoning behind that specific dollar amount is pretty funny.
Yeah, it is. So you can find that on CrowdRise. I think it's on the top link. I think it's on the homepage of CrowdRise right now.
Well, here's the thing: if you're going to troll people on the internet, you better make sure you know your facts, and you better hope that they're not as witty as this.
Yeah, and somebody probably has enough followers as him, and enough, and then followers who have even more followers.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's one thing to troll your friends and goof around with them, but like to attack somebody for any other reason, you got to be real cautious on who you're trolling and why.
Yeah,
because that can backfire real quickly.
Yeah, a professional actor and comedian, and somebody who worked in the communications area of the White House. Like,
right, he kind of knows some people.
He knows and he knows what he's doing. So, that's pretty cool there. So that they're doing that. So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on that. We'll check in with that next week and see if they're gonna break that $1 million mark as well. So let's see what else we have. You talk about Dallas for a minute?
Yeah, I really do want to, because I'm really excited about Dallas.
And so why are you so excited about Dallas now?
Freaking Mark Hamill.
I know.
I mean, come on. If I could yell it, I would yell it. I would scream it from the highest mountaintops. It's awesome. It's, for me, as a Star Wars fan, for you, as a Batman fan, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for both of us, because he never comes to anything unless it's like Celebration.
Yeah.
Or something super, super big that, in all likelihood, you and I aren't probably going to go to. So, for whatever reason, the moons have aligned, and he is going to be in Dallas. So, not trying to, we're not profiting from them at all, but if you want your opportunity to meet Mark Hamill, you need to get to Dallas Comic-Con, for sure.
Yeah, and that's coming up, in a couple months.
End of March.
So, yeah, I'll be curious to see what he does, because his panel is going to be full.
Oh yeah,
and so we're lucky enough to have VIP. Even with VIPs, we're going to have to line up early.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'll pack a lunch.
And so because when he did Salt Lake City, they put him in a stadium, like a big stadium, like a basketball arena.
Yeah. I bet they put him in the same spot that they had Stan Lee the first year I went with you. That gigantic arena.
They'd have to. Yeah, they'd have to. Well, it's a 6,000 or 7,000 seater.
Katrina Law was there too, right? I mean, is that who that was?
Yeah, but that was
the dance party situation. That was in the arena.
Yeah, that was in the arena. You'd have to be there. Yeah, it'd have to be there. I'm really curious to find out if he's going to sign or not. Because when he did Salt Lake, he didn't sign. You could get pre-autographed items, which is okay. I really hope he signs. Like, that line will be so insane.
But it would be so worth it, though.
And honestly, like, even if they have a Mark Hamill, like a VIP package or something like that you have to buy on top of, I'm in. Like,
I already told my wife, I said, I'm getting into savings for this. I will never have this opportunity again. And she goes, okay. I don't think she fully understands the gravity of it because for me, I'm not going to go to a celebration in all likelihood because I can't take off that long from work. It's just a longer trip.
Yeah.
And the bigger Comic Cons like New York or San Diego, the likelihood that I'm going to get in there is very slim. So assuming that he would be there, it's going to be even more slim.
Yeah.
And so, I've got to take advantage while I can. But if there's a specific package, I'm there too. I totally want that experience, and if he's signing, that's perfect because from the fan side of it, I've got a comic book that has Jeremy Bullock, Peter Mayhew, and Anthony Daniels on it, and it would have been nice had I been forethinking enough to get Carrie Fisher's on that same one, but I have it on another book. But it would be awesome to have his on that, and then that just leaves James Earl Jones, no big deal.
Just
right?
a few.
Yeah, no big deal.
And I'm struggling with the, because I do the autographed baseballs. Like, do I do Mark Hamill autographed baseball? Do I do animation cells? Like, animation cells are happening regardless.
Well, don't you have one that has almost all of the people that were involved with it? Don't you have an animation cell that has like a bunch of signatures on it?
I do, but Joker's not on that cell.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I wasn't sure how that really.
Speaking of Joker, I have it. There's a tiny one in the back corner, little devil on my shoulder, little animated series Joker.
There you go.
So I'm super excited about that. I mean, that's insane. It's so cool. I'm really looking forward to that.
I mean, it's I don't know, when they said that they were cutting out fan days to give a better show, I was I didn't know really what that meant because I loved both of them. I thought they were great. It seems like they're following through on their promise there.
Yeah,
which is exciting. And it's going to be a fun opportunity. I've already kind of looked into what it's going to take for me to have to leave work, so not a big deal there. So anyway, I'm pumped. I think it's going to be a good thing. And then there's something else. There's this other situation that's going on in Dallas that you might want to talk about. It's kind of a big deal.
Oh, which one?
I don't know. He draws some pictures.
Draws some dude.
Draws some pictures. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, Jim Lee's coming to Dallas. So I'm beyond thrilled about this. Jim Lee's one of those artists, iconic Batman artist, that is, getting the chance to meet Jim Lee, let alone get an autograph from Jim Lee, let alone get a selfie with Jim Lee,
right?
It is almost Mark Hamill levels of excitement.
Yeah.
Because Jim Lee's been in like New York and stuff like that, but it's been almost impossible to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And to get to his booth and stuff like that. So, I'm so stoked about that. Like, I've been going through my head, like, what I want to have signed. Like, and the thing about Jim Lee art is, like, Jim Lee original pages, they come signed. Like, when he sells pages, they're already signed. So I don't have to worry about that. So now the question is, what do I have signed?
Right.
So, the baseball will likely happen. He did a couple action figures, these blue line action figures that look like comic blue lines that are gorgeous. Probably one of those. Maybe the lithograph. I don't know. Like, it's so insane that's going to happen. And as soon as the packages went on sale, Dallas Comic Con's website just went.
Did it?
Oh, it burned to the ground. But strangely enough, they're not sold out. Like, last time I looked, which was several days ago, they're not sold out yet.
Wow.
So yeah, I only have one piece of Jim Lee art. And so I'll probably have him sign the book.
Mm-hmm.
Have him sign the book there. So when I get that framed up, it'll be good. But I am excited about that, and they're bringing a whole lot of Batman artists. Like my bank account is going to scream for this because they've got Jim Lee's going to be there. Scott Snyder's going to. Now Jim Lee's only there Sunday, but Scott Snyder's going to be there. One of the Batman writers. Eduardo Risso is going to be there, who did the Paul Dini book, and I've already reached out to his people and basically asked if he travels with art, and they said typically he doesn't. I said if I say I will buy this, will he bring it? And I have a soft confirmation that he will travel with it.
Good. Because that was a situation where it wasn't the cost, it was just the method of paying that was the issue.
Because he's in South America, he's in Brazil, and like PayPal in Brazil, stuff like that is not the best thing in the world, and so we wanted to make sure it's secure and safe, and so some original pages from Paul Dini, a Dark Knight story, that is, or a Batman story, it is, they will be mine. That may be the only thing I'm buying that weekend, but they will be mine.
That's okay. That's one of those opportunities that you can't pass up.
Yep. Speaking of opportunities that can't pass up, and you don't even know this yet.
Okay.
I bought the Megan Hetrick cover.
Yes.
From Star Wars. So shout out to Megan for that. I won't see it for a few months, but she's also agreed to come on the show.
All right. Awesome.
And call in, and so
very cool.
A soft agreement so far. She's busy with stuff, so we'll have to work into her schedule, but. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so I just couldn't. I wrestled with it for a long time, and
I'm really glad you didn't pass it up.
Me too. The thing about Lucasfilm commissioned artwork or Disney commissioned artwork is Lucasfilm or whatever has first right of refusal on all artwork, which means they have the first right to buy it. And so a lot of times that type of art doesn't come up that often, and especially a cover. And so it came up. I was able to work out some details. So it worked out. So it will, like I said, it'll be a few months before I see it, but it is. I'm very excited.
So now we've got to hunt for 2 of those covers.
Yeah.
Because I need one.
You need one. I need one. And because this is one of the Star Wars is doing a 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
And this is one of 40 different covers.
Something like that. Yeah. They've released. I want to say there's probably 8 of them that are officially out. Mm-hmm. The other ones they haven't necessarily said which book it's going to, because it's across all of the books. It's not just Star Wars.
Okay.
So you may have a Darth Vader cover that doesn't have a title on it. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Okay.
So I found that on StarWars.com as I was kind of researching it a little bit more when we started talking about it. Because as most of you know, I collect the variants of issue number 1 because it came out on my birthday 2 years ago. And so ever since then I've just been hooked, and now I have something else I just have to have because that's pretty dang cool. 40th year, I mean that's amazing.
And it's
40th anniversary.
Yeah, and it's 40 covers, and it's not Star Wars number 1, and so hopefully it'll be a lot easier to achieve that.
Yeah, but they are limited quantities.
Oh,
They are like 1 of 1,000, 1 of 2,000.
Are they?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the number of what hers is yet.
Yeah. So it'll be easier, but it's still going to cost probably $20 or $30 a book.
Yeah.
Which isn't too bad.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can with Impulse or something like that. Yeah. Maybe he can source some books for you.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll give it a shot. I'm not giving up.
Yep.
So.
Yes, I'm excited about that. That's going to be cool.
Definitely.
It's funny, like the only 2 covers I own, I think the only 2 I own, are both Megan Hetrick's.
Because the Beauty's the other one, right?
Beauty number 8, and then now Star Wars, whatever issue number it's going to be.
Man, that's awesome.
So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm really glad you got that, because that's really cool. I mean, that's a one-time deal,
Oh yeah, this is a once-in-a-lifetime piece, and
absolutely.
And she worked with me on it, and so that was good. I really appreciate that. So let's see.
Oh, Stan Lee's going to be in Dallas, too. How did we forget that?
Stan Lee's going to be in Dallas?
It's his last Texas appearance, they're saying. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
That's the thing. I've heard so many last appearances.
At least how they're marketing it.
Yeah. So you're going to go after a Stan Lee autograph?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
What are you going to have signed?
I was kicking myself the last time when you did the baseball and everything. I was kicking myself that I didn't go stand in line with you. But I wasn't in that place, I might even spring for a picture. I don't know. We'll see. But in terms of what I'm getting signed, I have no clue. Because I know he doesn't do baseballs that often, and I know that I don't know. I don't know what to get signed. So I've got 8 weeks to figure it out.
Yep.
So maybe I should just get him to sign a picture of me. Would that work?
Just you?
Yeah, just take a selfie, print it out, say, hey, can you sign this for me? Like, you drew it. I don't know. No, really, I don't have any idea what I'm going to do. But part of me wants to get like some of the older comics that I have signed, but I don't have anything specifically to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have, like, Spider-Man. Like, I mean, I have a couple of the newer ones, but you know what I'm saying. So
you can have him sign. Did you bought that Spider-Man, whatever it was, the Punisher cover, the reprint?
I did.
You haven't signed that.
Yeah, but it's pretty trashy.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know that I want to spend the amount of money for that signature on something that's not in great condition.
Let's see.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to do a little research though, because I feel like it needs to be a comic book. But I have a lot of Marvel cards from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
As we're sitting next to these baseball cards, it reminded me of that. And I want to say I have a Stan Lee Marvel card, and so I may have him sign that just because it's. I mean, why not?
I have the Cap Shield that I have signed that I like quite a bit. There is another Marvel Legends piece. It's an Iron Man helmet.
Okay.
And the faceplate comes off.
Nice.
And
you said you have that?
I'm looking at it.
Okay.
And I may buy that. Even though I already have one Stan Lee signature, I may buy that and have him sign the faceplate to go with the Cap Shield.
Yeah.
I haven't really decided yet.
Definitely.
That trip's going to be so expensive.
Yeah, I was adding it up in my head last night as I was kind of thinking about it, because I noticed that last night they released the pricing for Stan Lee, which it's affordable for his name and for all that. So I mean, I'm not complaining about it by any means, but just adding up like how much I need to be prepared
Yo,
to.
dude, I'm Jason.
That's
I play Gustin.
Cab's watching a movie during the podcast. I don't know what's going on with him.
I don't know.
This is like the 4th time in a row. He's my tech guy.
But what he's also not telling you is I'm running 2 laptops, watching both cameras and a microphone at the same time.
Okay. We'll give him some credit.
So
I mean, he's kind of making it work.
I'm trying to make it work.
We're gonna have to fix this blue light right here, right there.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
shining right in my eyes. It's killing me.
That's joke. Well, yeah, I've got some electric tape around here if you want some of that.
Okay, there we go. We're gonna make it happen.
There we go.
Maybe. No, that won't work.
Okay, hold on. Here we go, guys.
Sorry, folks.
See Facebook Live. Facebook Live. You see everything.
All right, we're gonna make this happen.
Just don't turn off the mic.
I won't.
It is on, isn't it?
Well, I'm assuming the light's on, so that.
Well, there's the switch on.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, good.
Oh, that's much better.
All
yeah.
right.
Okay. Whew. Crisis averted, people.
Okay. Let's move on to more Batman.
Okay.
Kevin Smith thinks that they should make a Batman movie every year like Star Wars.
I agree. I mean, I think the fans are there that would work, and I think that overall, I think there's enough story there.
There's enough characters there. I think. I just worry about doing it to death. Like, that's the thing. The reason Star Wars works right now, even though we're gonna have new Star Wars every year, it's like main canon Star Wars, side story. Main canon Star Wars, side story.
True.
So if they did like main canon Batman, Robin, main canon Batman, Nightwing, main canon, Joker solo movie, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I worry about, like, as much as I love Batman, like, I worry about the the saturation point of it. Like,
okay.
And there's an interesting article too, because Ben Affleck came out and said he's not directing the Batman.
Yeah, what was that about? I did not read that, but I did see it.
So he was attached to write and direct the new Batman movie called The Batman right now. Him and Jeff Johns were writing it, and then Jeff Johns of DC, and he was going to direct as well. And I was really stoked about that because his stuff like Argo and other stuff that he's directed has been amazing.
Sure, he's accomplished for sure. Yeah.
So, but he has stepped out of the director's chair for Batman, for the Batman. So I don't know. Like, it really going to depends on who you get in there to do something with that. but we'll see. I mean, it comes after Justice League and stuff like that. But
is it a tie-in to all of those other movies?
Yeah, they'll all be interconnected. I mean, there's talk of maybe it's an origin type story, like a Batman year, like not a full origin, but like a Batman Year One type.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's no reference to villains or anything yet, but
if I had any complaint about the possibility of them doing a movie every year, it would just be you can't keep telling the same story over and over.
Oh yeah, no, it would have to be an anthology.
Yeah, because I mean, you got like Michael Keaton origin, and then you got a little bit of that in the newer Batmans, the Dark Knight, and all that, and then now here we are again, and even the possibility of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, there's some stories you could do like without even going into origin at all. You could go and do Batman Hush, Batman Long Halloween,
right.
Stuff like that. There's some, they've already kind of done Dark Knight Returns, but there's enough of those there that you could do something like that, and I think that would be cool. But we'll see what's going to end up happening there.
Well, in another direction to go with that, I think would be the Nightwing and like the Red Hood, like going to stories that are less known by normal, like just average fans.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna go see a Batman movie because it's a Batman movie, not because necessarily you know everything about the character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that would be me, and I would love to see some of that character development in other ways, or take some storylines from Gotham even, and make movies out of them. Maybe not necessarily the exact storylines, but just topics that have come up or characters that have come up.
Yeah, I think if we get like, I would love like. There's key, and we saw a little bit in Dark Knight Rises, like the Bane storyline, the Nightfall storyline.
Right.
Like there's a whole other way to do that. Then I said there's Long Halloween and Hush, and a bunch of other ones that you could do. But we'll see. There's enough story there for sure.
Sure.
We'll just have to see what it is. But yeah, I'll be curious to see who they put in the director's chair for that. So help me if it's Zack Snyder, I'm gonna have a fit. Don't get me wrong, I like Zack Snyder, but like a dark, gritty Batman movie is not like. It just doesn't. I would rather have the guy who did Suicide Squad, David Ayer, do it than Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder is a big, type whatever. Like we don't need a spectacle Batman movie. We need a dark, gritty Batman movie.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see what it is.
Okay.
Staying with Batman, Billy D. Williams finally gets to play Two-Face.
I mean, that's going to be pretty cool.
I am so excited about the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah.
I can't, it's next week.
Because he's going to voice
Two-Face.
Yep. Okay.
And he's going to...
Lego Batman's next Tuesday.
Is
that what you just said?
No, it's next weekend. Yeah.
Next weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lego Batman.
All right. I guess I know what I'm watching.
And for people who don't know, very briefly in '89 Batman, we've talked about this before, but Billy D. Williams plays Harvey Dent. And the long-term plan was for him to play Two-Face in that series, but obviously Tim Burton went away after Batman Returns and stuff like that. So he's just like... and he talked about whether if he was given an option to play Two-Face in Batman Forever. He says he never really got to work on that. But he says at the 70... I didn't realize he's 79. He says, it's pretty ironic, I guess, this is from comicbook.com, considering I originally played Harvey Dent in hopes of playing Two-Face, and here I am playing Two-Face in a Lego movie. It's very interesting.
Yeah, hey, go with it, man. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And frankly, I can't wait for Lego Batman. I think it's going to be awesome.
It looks great. They've released the soundtrack on Spotify ahead of time.
Awesome. Awesome.
So trying to get the new Everything is Awesome, I guess.
Yeah. Which, did I tell you the story of that?
No.
Okay, so Joni and I, we hadn't seen Lego Movie yet, and she wanted to go see Katy Perry in concert, and so I did that. Like, no worries, totally cool. So we have a good time, and they have these two girls that are on right before Katy Perry, and it's Tegan and Sarah, the people that sing that song.
Okay.
And so they're like, if you guys have seen the Lego Movie, then you know what this is all about. And they just break out in the song. I had no clue what was happening around me. Everybody around me knew that song, and I could not get my brain wrapped around it. Now I can't get Harper to stop singing it. But, it was just, that was my first exposure to Everything Was Awesome. And then now here we are years later, and we've seen Lego Movie thousands of times, and I love it,
Nice.
So just random stuff.
Let's see what else we got. I think the Yeah, during the Super Bowl, we're gonna see, and they released it online already. The new trailer for Transformers last night.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing about this. It looks amazing,
It does.
and for that fact alone, I want to see it.
It
That's all I have on that. I'm sorry. It looks great.
It does look great. Some people are theorizing based on what we're seeing in some of the trailers, things like that, if we will actually see the demise of Optimus Prime and his successor Rodimus Prime rise to start a new. Because Michael Bay has officially said this will be the last one that he's going to do. Kind of start a new mythology, as it were. There's talks about a Transformers G.I. Joe crossover movie, since they're all in the Hasbro universe. There's a lot of different things they could do there, but the new trailer looks good, looks dark. It looks good. We'll see. It's Mark Wahlberg. We'll see what it is. There's a lot of behind the scenes shots of him filming that movie when in this season of Wahlburgers on A&E. That talks about their burger shop, but so it's one of those things. It's a summer movie. I'm gonna go see it. It's gonna be fun. It's one of those unplug your brain and go type movies. So
for sure. Just try not to get nauseous if you're watching in 3D.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's the only complaint that I have since they've redone the Transformers. I mean, they've gradually gotten better, but sometimes the action is so chaotic you can't even tell what's happening.
That's always been the thing about Transformers. They just here's some pieces of metal rolling around in a ball or whatever, and it happens so fast you don't know who's doing what and when, and then inevitably it's super fast action, slow mo shot. Like the action pieces are all done in slow mo, and I think that's even the same way in the trailer too. Mm-hmm. Of course, there's always the joke too that there's always a Mark Wahlberg walking slow mo shot in every Mark Wahlberg movie.
I mean, why not? You know what? Even in what is it, Daddy's Home, the comedy with Will Ferrell? Yeah, he's walking slow, getting on. Yeah, that's hilarious.
So it's like there's usually a slow mo shot, and one of two things is happening. He's either in front of American flag, or there's explosions behind him. One of the two. The slow walk away.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Facebook. I just learned something.
It's not entirely true, but in a lot of his movies is definitely that as well. So let's see here. Before we get into Marvel TV, what do we want to get into here?
How about everybody was wrong about the Death Star?
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it. Here's the thing. Say it.
Everybody was wrong about the Death Star. I honestly, I never put much thought into where this trench was.
Neither did anybody else, according to the internet. So apparently, in Star Wars, where Luke is flying the X-wing and sends both times, I guess, really, but sends the torpedo or whatever you want to call it into the exhaust port, and naturally, when you look at the Death Star, you think that's on the equatorial line, right? Like the dead center of the thing. It's not. It's perpendicular to it. I mean, had we all paid attention during the military briefing and understood what these 8-bit descriptions were, we would have totally understood that. I mean, I don't know how I didn't get that to begin with.
So you're telling me if we're like one of the X-wing fighter pilots. I always thought, like, in the middle is like where you see, everybody enter, exit, stuff like that. Like,
it would make sense that there would be an exhaust port there.
Yeah, it would make sense.
And they would have cannons there.
You would think.
Yeah. Apparently not.
But apparently,
I guess when something can be confused for a moon, there's a lot of crevasses on there.
That's true.
And you've got to defend those. I don't know. It's just, when I read that, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I've been wrong this whole time. That's just sad.
I just never put that much thought into it, to be honest with you.
No, I didn't either. I mean, I didn't, but I don't know. I don't know how I didn't get that from the military briefing that I'm watching. I mean, it makes total sense now.
Yeah. That's funny.
Hindsight, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I never thought about that. I read an article, too, that Gareth Edwards, who directed Rogue One, he stole the Death Star plans prop.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he jokingly said he stole it, but it's generally believed that he has it.
Way to go.
Yeah.
I am impressed. Way to go.
It was during a Rogue One panel, and I think like Felicity Jones and the other actors are like, we can get that back. We're pretty skilled at this. So
there you go. There you go.
Let's see.
They will rebel.
Oh Jesus. Okay. Let's talk about weasels.
Yes, I was just looking at this. Explain, please. Computer, explain.
So I was looking for a good science article for this one, and I was having trouble.
This is a good one.
I was having trouble finding it. It was between this or the first cat in space. So
is that even really a thing?
It is really a thing.
Which country?
France.
Okay.
So
I don't know what to say. I have no witty banter on that one.
So I found this article.
Wait. I'm sorry. Why did they send a cat in space?
For the same reason we sent a dog and Russia sent a monkey and whatever to test it before you sent a human.
Okay. Fair enough.
The cat survived apparently.
I guess so because we're talking about it.
So I'm just going to read this. This is from sciencemag.org, January 31st. I'm just going to read the title of the article. Weasels electrocuted by particle accelerator honored in exhibit. The Large Hadron Collider in Geneva, Switzerland has had its share of weasel problems. I had no idea. You remember when last April the $7 billion with a B dollar machine was knocked out by a stone marten chewing a wire. I'm assuming a stone marten's a weasel.
Must be.
Chewing a wire, sending the European physics group CERN scrambling to fix it. That marten is no more, but now an unusual exhibition in the Netherlands will be honoring the weasels that have met their ends tangling with the famous collider. Live Science reports a stuffed CERN Weasel 2 is the newest addition to the exhibit, which seeks to demonstrate the tragedies that can result when man and beast collide.
I mean, wow. I don't even know what to say.
It goes to show you can spend $7 billion on a Large Hadron Collider,
and
nature will find a way. Yeah. It's like, what is that movie? The Will Smith movie. He's the last person on Earth.
I Am Legend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I Am Legend. Like after a time, how like nature has taken back the Earth, basically.
Yeah. Like there's a lion in New York City.
Yeah, and so apparently weasels are next because they can get into a $7 billion.
Well, did they? I mean, I guess they just dug. Wow, that's
they
crazy.
got in during construction. Maybe they put up a nest somewhere. I don't know. I'm a little curious about this. I might have to do further research for next week.
I'm terrified if I'm being completely honest with you. I mean, these guys are smashing together particles.
So it's entirely possible at this point. The end of the world because they open a black hole and it sucks up the Earth is because of a weasel. Or if you go Flash, like weasel metahumans, Meta-Weasels.
Which is even more terrifying because if they eat electronics and all that, I don't want them to have superpowers. I promise you.
Meta-Weasels. That's
Meta-Weasels.
The world ends because of Meta-Weasels.
Is that your prediction?
I'm gonna go with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Meta-Weasels.
All right.
I'm going with Meta-Weasels.
Right,
I think we also found a title for this episode.
Meta-Weasels. Yes, that is the title. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, superb owls. Yeah, superb owls and Meta-Weasels.
Yeah.
There's our title.
Yeah, Meta-Weasels. Wow. Okay, Flash. I really need you to be real right now. Like for real. And Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Matter of fact, just everybody. I need you to be real.
Meta-Weasels.
We got Meta-Weasels to deal with.
I love it.
Story broke here. It's gonna break the internet tomorrow. Watch.
It might. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
More of that fake news.
Yeah. So if you're on alternative facts.
Yeah.
So if you're on Twitter, let's do hashtag Meta-Weasels.
Oh. That's perfect.
And see what we can get going. Other news that came out this week. Speaking of the strange and supernatural, somewhat. Peter Capaldi. This is his last series as Doctor Who as the Doctor. Doctor Who is an interesting thing because British television is different, obviously, than us.
Yeah, it's very different.
Very different. And so Doctor Who is a character that regenerates from time to time. So the Doctor is played by many different people.
Hence the 11th, the 12th, 13th, all that. Okay.
Exactly. And so Peter Capaldi, the current iteration of the Doctor, has announced that this will be his last series, which means we will likely see his regeneration into whomever he's going to turn into the Christmas special of 2017.
Okay.
We don't know what that means for his new companion, Pearl. I think it's played by Pearl Mackie. We have not met her yet. Like, we haven't seen the new series yet. But because usually people play the Doctor, one person's played it for one season, then it's 2 or 3, 4 or 5, seasons of the Doctor. So we're going to get a new Doctor. It's going to start the conversation again about should there be a female Doctor, and it's not a should as much as because I think everybody agrees a female Doctor would be awesome.
Yeah.
It's whether or not BBC is brave enough to do it.
Is there a particular reason they wouldn't be brave to do it? Other than just breaking the mold,
it's breaking the mold.
Okay.
It's it's going to be a new series with a new showrunner.
Okay.
I think it's a good opportunity. A name that has been bantered about a couple of times about it is Haley Atwell, Agent Carter.
Okay.
And so I'd be curious. I think that could work. Like there's also been some unsubstantiated talk that Billie Piper, who played Rose Tyler, one of the original companions, maybe shows up as regenerates as the Doctor. I don't know. Like, we're not going to know for a while. They're not going to announce it or anything for months at this point because they're not even there yet. But
I mean, Doctor Who is one of those. It's one of those British shows like Top Gear that, for whatever reason, it works here. Does that make sense? People are into it, and people love watching it, and it has a strong following. Now, I realize that BBC has since canceled Top Gear. I mean, I know that, but that was just my example as something that started across the pond has carried over here to where it's a really big thing.
Doctor Who's been around for 50 years.
Right, exactly. And that stands the test of time to say that, obviously there is a following there. I'm not a Doctor Who fan. It's just not one of my things. It's not that I wouldn't like it. I just have never watched it.
British in British television and British humor and kind of the silliness at times of the Doctor is hard for people. Like there's one particular season it's a little rough to get through, and then you get into the David Tennant years and it's pretty good. And then there are some absolutely terrifying things like you've seen them at the convention, the Angels.
That freaked my wife out.
Yeah.
And what I really should have done is probably not even said a word. Like, probably just let her go on about her day, but I told her don't look at them and then look away, kind of a thing, because I literally saw somebody the first Dallas convention you and I went to. Mm-hmm. You were doing something and I went to go do something else or sit down or I don't know, something happened and we were not together, and we had seen these angels running around,
the weeping angels,
and all of a sudden this lady just screams top of her lungs, scared me half to death because there's hundreds of people everywhere. And I had to really quickly kind of figure out who was screaming and why. And it was this person pouncing on them as one of those angels, just scared her.
Yeah, because she was looking at the angel. The thing about the weeping angels is if you look at them, they can't move. And there's a doctor who thinks that don't blink. Mm-hmm. If you're looking at them, they can't move. And so what likely happened is you're looking at the angel and she froze, and then she turned her back or turned her head, and that person ran up to her and got right up on her.
Oh yeah, scared her half to death.
I've seen it happen multiple times.
And that brings some issues with cosplay as a whole. Is there's this whole movement, and I completely agree with it. I think it's great. It's sad that has to be a thing, but it is what it is. And it says cosplay doesn't equal consent, right? Just because you might not have a lot of clothes on doesn't mean you feel like being grabbed by everybody. And I totally respect that. I agree. I think that's a good thing. However, the flip side of that is cosplay also doesn't mean consent in terms of charging somebody and pestering them, right? We had that one guy who was kind of messing with us at Dallas. You might not have noticed it, but he was in I don't know. It wasn't a Deadpool. It might have been Borderlands or something.
Okay.
But it was just he was just kind of creepily staring at, trying to elicit a reaction. And for me, as a fan of cosplay, because I think it takes a lot of effort to put in. I mean, it does. There's just no denying it. For a lot of these people, that's their hobby. It takes a ton of time and a ton of effort, and it's artwork, so you kind of got to appreciate it. But I don't want to be pestered, Just because you're in a costume doesn't mean, or an outfit or whatever, doesn't mean that I want to be bothered by it, I don't know. It made me a little uncomfortable too with him kind of being creepy about it, not necessarily just, it wasn't hey, Wolverine, can I have a picture? It was I'm going to stare at you ominously, I don't know.
So I have... I'm sorry, I just now brought up the feed on my phone, the live feed.
Okay.
Mitchell, he says Hasselhoff is not a bad actor.
Of course, Mitchell.
Yes, of course, Mitchell. Yeah, how are those boots coming along there, Mitchell?
Yeah, Oh, sick burn.
And then,
that's a Destiny remark, people. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. Mandy says hi, and my niece and nephew, Abby and Jack, they all say hi. Apparently they're watching right now. Or they were watching. So
Mitchell texted me. If you're still watching, Mitchell, I'm going to read your text. It says, I sent him a picture of a Gambit custom pop because he wants to get Gambit. It's his favorite X-Men character. And so anyway, he says, "Oh, I see you're live. Play on, playa." He's just funny. So Mitchell, you're welcome.
Nice.
You're famous.
So it looks like I think right now it looks like my brother's on. He's watching us right now.
On.
So hey Jack, how's it going?
Yeah,
hi Abby, hi Jack, how's it going, guys?
How's it going? Sorry, we were just kind of doing our thing, not paying much attention, trying to pretend there's not cameras right in our face.
Because I need another screen to look at right now.
Right.
We've talked about it a little bit. I'm moving shortly,
Uh-huh.
and I'm really looking forward to the time in which I can permanently put this stuff in place. And not have to worry about and figure out a way to set up multiple cameras and. At some point, we might have to get a third person, like a technical producer.
Yeah, well, and it might even be better, just an idea, kind of like how yesterday you and Church were sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
That may actually work a little bit better to keep everything on the same level rather than having to turn our heads back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just an idea.
We'll see. It'll be a little time before we get into our permanent home, the permanent home of the podcast. But once we get there, hopefully it'll be good. The only problem is us sitting side by side. We can't use we can't shoot and use the phone screens.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't need to sit next to you. It's okay. It's just a suggestion.
Yeah. So
Meta-Weasels.
Yeah, Meta-Weasels. So we're running these foam screens. It's feedback we got. I say foam screens. They're like.
My bad.
Nick, party foul.
My bad.
I say foam screens.
There's a little bit of a delay.
There is, yeah. The foam. They're foam sound shields basically to keep the sound contained a little bit, and so. Feedback from that is that stuff sounds really clear, really good. I noticed it whenever I was doing the producing.
Hi, Mandy. We are live.
When I was doing the producing last time, I barely had to touch the audio at all.
Very
was
cool.
Good. So makes my life easier, so we're good. I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give.
Well, this is a cool little thing, I mean, this is my first live thing. I never really saw the benefit, but. Hey, if you guys like it, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, and and if you're gonna catch this later, if you can't watch Facebook at work, but you can watch YouTube, we will post these up on YouTube as well. Mm-hmm. And so we're running this, by the way, not that we're sponsored by these people, but license would be sweet. We're running this through XSplit Live.
Okay.
And so this is a lot of game streamers, stuff like that, use it. So we're streaming directly from it, all straight into Facebook Live. So.
Well, and I realize now that as I've been sitting here drinking my coffee. That keeps showing up on the feed. So
yes, it does.
I'm going to show you the custom-made thing that I did.
Yes.
Is that working?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Gather the Nerds, Tumblr. So, if that's something we need or have some people that want them, we can definitely try to figure that deal out. That's just me goofing around. But anyway.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Okay, that's Capaldi. Talked about Meta-Weasels. Don't want to get into GameStop yet. We talked about Star Wars. Let's talk about Powerless. Did you watch Powerless this week?
No.
Okay.
What I don't even know what it is.
So we've talked about this. Powerless is a show on NBC set in the DC universe.
Okay.
Originally, it was going to be about an insurance company that pays out claims.
Yeah. Okay, I remember this now.
It has since changed, and it is now Wayne Security, and they make things to keep people safe from superhero stuff.
Okay. Was the first episode this week?
It was.
Oh, okay. Great.
I really wanted to like it. I didn't that much.
Oh, no. Now, why not?
Well, okay, let me tell you, there's some great things about it.
Okay.
The opening credits are awesome.
Okay.
It is vintage DC, shows all the superheroes, things like that. That was great. The voiceover in the beginning, Adam West. Heck yes. I'm on board.
So right now you're sold.
I'm sold.
Okay.
And then, we might lose a listener or two for this. And then Alan Tudyk shows up. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Alan Tudyk. But as this character, I cannot stand him.
Okay.
And basically, he plays Van Wayne, Bruce's cousin.
Okay.
And he runs Wayne Security. And so, it's an interesting premise. Now, there is some talent on that show. Vanessa Hudgens is there. Danny Pudi is there. Ron Funches, who is absolutely hysterical, is there. I'm wondering if it's because they changed the premise of the show at the last minute, like it's different than the pilot, that maybe they just haven't quite found it yet. I'm just not it's almost too bright, too cheery. Like I'm used to DC being dark and gritty, and that may be my problem with it.
Are you telling me it's the Glee of DC?
I've never watched Glee, so I really can't compare. And don't even get me started about the Supergirl Flash musical crossover episode.
Okay,
that's happening.
Hang on,
we're gonna start. We'll get into that.
That makes me hurt.
But
because Arsenal was,
yeah,
he was on Glee with the Flash.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is so Powerless. Like I wanted to like it. Interesting story. I just it just didn't grab me. And so we'll see what that is going to be like as the season. I'm sure it's going to get at least 12 episodes, 12, 13 episodes. Initially, not quite there. Like
okay.
I just don't think it's there. Maybe it will. And there's an interesting article about things that were in the original pilot that did not make it into this episode. There were a lot of DC references and stuff like that didn't make the cut, which maybe I probably would have liked it more if that was the case. We're so Facebook gives you a lot of these like. Sorry, I'm gonna jump off this for a second. They give you a lot of these like encouraging stuff. It says you're live. We're building an audience for you. Keep going. We're telling your followers to join your video. We're spreading the word that you're live. This may take a minute. Like,
oh boy.
So we know. Thanks, Facebook. So we're talking about that, but there is. I really wanted to like it. I really did. Probably like a 7 out of 10 if I had to rate it. Like, there's room for improvement. I hope they get there. I just think it's very cheery, and I'm just not used to that in the DC world. Like, after catching up on Gotham, which holy cow.
And I'm way behind on that. I mean, I've missed the entire season, but. Please, if we need to talk about it, let's talk about it.
We'll save Gotham for a little bit.
Okay.
But
I don't want anybody to not want us to be talking about it, and then we're not. So
I'm just gonna say Jerome. Holy.
I've seen the pictures of it, and he looks intense.
Oh man, it is so good. Like, there's some call outs to New 52, Death of the Family. There's some. Court of Owls call outs. There's some looks like Killing Joke call outs a little bit. So good, so good. So I got behind on Gotham. Like for some reason I kind of fell out of it just a little bit early in the season with towards the end of the Mad Hatter run.
Right. So you do see the Mad Hatter in this one?
Yes.
Nice.
And he is creepy. But once we get into this, there's a Penguin Riddler Barbara Keene storyline that is really good as well.
Really?
Oh
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good. So I'm really happy. So it's in winter hiatus right now. But Powerless. Give it a watch. Like I think it needs a little time to grow. But it was not quite what I was hoping for right now. But we'll get there. There was a couple Batman references at the end, and a couple Joker references. So I was pretty stoked about that.
Cool, awesome.
Let's see.
Where do we want to go?
You want to talk about Marvel TV for a minute?
Yeah, let's.
You threw this in there.
So one of the things that I'm excited about, and I've always been excited about this kind of stuff, is when comics start coming to TV and movies. I can remember as a kid being so excited to watch He-Man. Well, it was called Masters of the Universe, right, with Dolph Lundgren, and I just loved watching it because it was something that I watched as a kid, and then all of a sudden it became a movie and it was live action. So I thought it was awesome, right? And so every time there was like an incarnation of some movie, I was pumped. So like Punisher as a kid, I was pumped, loved it. Cloak and Dagger. There was a Cloak and Dagger movie when we were little. And I used, at least that's what I thought it was. Let me say it that way. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was called Cloak and Dagger. And I remember watching it. Was not at all about a Marvel character. It was just that's what it was called, right? So for me, seeing something like Cloak and Dagger that is going to eventually be on TV is really exciting because it's a pair of superheroes together. And so if you're not, I'm not super familiar with Cloak and Dagger in terms of like knowing their backstory and that kind of thing. But I was always kind of a fan of the artwork. I had their cards and whatnot, and so I love that. And so it's just exciting to see more of that happening. In other news, kind of going down the page here on Marvel Runaways finds its cast. Now, I'm not real familiar with what Marvel Runaways are, but it appears to be a group of kids, and they are basically going to have a project with Hulu. So I mean, that's outstanding because that's just another platform for them to reach people. I feel like.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you've got Legion coming to FX.
Yeah,
and that's like this week, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
And so we got Legion coming to FX, and then Fox has ordered an X-Men pilot.
They have, and so that's something else that I kind of dropped. And I think you might have posted a link as well too, maybe. And that's big news. I mean, the fact that we're going to have another X-Men show on TV after the 90s. I mean, that's outstanding, especially because the likelihood that the X-Men storyline continues, I don't know. I don't know how you keep that going for as long as they have, because at some point the original actors aren't going to be in the movies, and that might be hard for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. I mean, obviously the kids and the teenagers that maybe don't know or aren't avid fans, but I don't know. I just always feel like if we can bring more comic stuff to TV or movies, then that's helping the industry as a whole, because then people want to know the backstory, so they buy a comic book or they buy a book or a collected issue. For me, it's more nerdum, and I love it, and I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, the new X-Men pilot that's going to be on Fox is the pilot follows two human parents and their mutant child who are forced to go on the run from the government, end up joining an underground mutant network. It's from Matt Nix. I think Matt Nix did Burn Notice on USA,
okay.
I think.
Okay, which is a good show.
Yeah, I think he did that. So, yeah, that'll be Bryan Singer, Simon Kinberg, Jeff Loeb, will executive produce the pilot.
Oh, it says it'll replace Hellfire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to do a show about the Hellfire Club.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to produce that. So it will be more closely tied to the X-Men mythology than Legion will be. So Legion will kind of be on the outskirts a little bit, it sounds like.
Very cool.
So that'll be.
If you like watching TV, or if you have time and you're a nerd, now's a good time.
Yeah,
I mean, there's just so much out there for you. And maybe X-Men wasn't your thing at first, and you can watch something and kind of get into it. I don't know. It's a good time, that's for sure. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good thing. And as somebody who loves Wolverine, it's he's my spirit animal. Is that? Yeah, probably not. He's a little more rough than me. But anyway, my point is, I love the character. And so with that being said, I feel like it's going to be a good thing. Can't be bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, I guess it could be bad.
It could.
But it won't be.
It won't be.
It won't be.
We're getting a little. We're recording a little earlier today because Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
We're not used to being.
You're not supposed to say that, man.
I'm sorry. Well, Superb Owl Sunday. It's a little brighter in the room than we normally, and I'm starting to get some glare. I need my sunglasses.
There you go. Yeah, make it real cool.
Yeah,
no, they're not on your head.
That's unusual. That's normally they are.
No, they're not on the table either.
Now you posted another link too, kind of going back to Star Wars.
Yeah,
what is this film about fans waiting in line? I didn't
kind of totally came across it right at the last minute. Apparently, there is a fan film that is going to be called The Line Kings, and essentially it has to do with the fandom centered around fans who wait ridiculously long lines for up to 4 days in front of a classic theater in California, the Chinese Theater, for a chance to see the walk-on role, or to win a chance at a walk-on role in the new film. So essentially, it's videotape. It's a fan filming the fandom of other fans trying to get in the movie.
Gotcha.
to get a walk-in role. It's I don't know. It just sounds cool because to me it kind of sounds like what was that? There was a comic book one that came out. What was it? I think it was kind of a humorous one. It wasn't really that serious, but Con Men.
Oh, you talking about Con Man on the one that Alan Tudyk, Nathan Fillion did?
Probably.
Okay, the crowdfunded one about conventions and things like that. Yeah.
So it's gonna be something along those lines, and I think that'll be cool. I always love seeing people get really excited about things that they have to wait ridiculously long amounts for. It's just, I don't know. It's neat. To me, it sounds like it'll be a neat thing to see. It is fan driven so far. Let's see. The guy that's doing it is perhaps best known for his role as Wally Cleaver in Leave It to Beaver. So there you go. He has also directed a couple episodes of Babylon 5, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the TV show. Did you know there was a TV show?
I had no idea.
I didn't either. I don't remember that. So Ryback is the producer and has written for series like Home Improvement and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. So we will see if what Lion Kings really does. But it looks like production starts this spring. So
I don't know. Cool. The thing about standing in line for that long.
Fanboys was the one I was thinking of.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about standing in line anymore is one of my friends, Reese, he posted a question on his Facebook saying, if you could do a chapter title of a book, like based on how we met or something like that, what would it be? And mine was, even though we met long before this, it's just like while waiting in line for a midnight movie, because every time there was a decent release of something at midnight, we would go stand in line at the IMAX or whatever, and inevitably I'd run into him. Now we were classmates at Tulsa Tech and stuff like that too, but inevitably I'd run into him. Now with reserved seating, like that just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, there's no waiting anymore.
There's no waiting anymore, and so while on the one hand it's good, like I enjoy not standing in line for 4 hours.
Sure.
On the other hand, it's kind of fun to hang out for a little while with people, stuff like that. But I remember when Batman Begins came out, like midnight movie, I was in line at the IMAX at 6:00.
Wow. And it was a midnight movie.
It was a midnight movie, so 6 hours I was there.
That's dedication.
It's Batman.
Yeah, it's Batman.
And so, I wanted to, so now you just don't have to worry about that. At least not us around here anymore. Pretty much everything has reserved seating.
Yeah, I mean, that's for me. Now with my life circumstances of having a family, I like that. But I also get the other side of it because I enjoyed waiting in line. That's when you met people that were into the same things because they were there with you, and you make some real connections. For me, like I said, I love cosplay. So before cosplay was super big in my life, in terms of like knowing really what it was, I loved seeing the people that were dressed up because I just thought that's awesome. I hate costumes. I'll just put that out there. I won't wear them. It's not my thing in any way. Didn't like them as a kid. Don't like them now. So anybody that puts on a costume in front of people and willingly puts themselves in front of people to be judged, because let's be honest, that's what we do as human beings. They have my applause. I that's awesome, and most of the costumes are really well put together. The one that I didn't understand, the only time I've never not understood, like I've truly been in one of those situations, not understood it. A girl was in a Fallout jacket outfit thing when we were at Star Wars Force Awakens. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Mitchell and my friend, our friend Casey was talking about it, and they were like, "Why are they in Fallout? Like they realize it's Star Wars, right?" Whatever.
Maybe that's the joke. I don't.
It could have been the joke. Who knows? I don't know. But either way, I agree with you. I think standing in line is amazing because, like with the Leia thing, I've met a guy now that lives in a different part of Oklahoma that I'm Facebook friends with. And we kind of coordinate certain things. Like he helps us with the podcast and getting people to click on the page. He'll post things on his page every so often and lets me do the same thing. So it's totally awesome. It makes the experience that much better.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Of course, standing in line for 4 hours, I'm not going to complain about not having to do that and then figuring out how to get food there and then
saving your spot
and you eat a large popcorn before the movie even starts and then you get another large popcorn and then it's just
that's some takes dedication.
It does indeed.
Are you drinking Slurpees during these times?
Ices? Oh yeah.
Or Ices, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the thing you have to know about Cav, the first time that I went to a movie with him, I don't even remember what it was.
I don't either.
I think it might have been maybe one of the Batman movies or something. But anyway, I go with him, and he gets this gigantic Icy and popcorn.
Yeah.
And you were done with both by the time the end of the movie was done.
Oh, yeah.
I could not wrap my brain around it. You didn't move. It wasn't like I'm done, I got to go to the restroom. You just did, you handled it. That was impressive.
I love Icy.
Maybe it was Harry Potter.
It may have been.
Yeah, it may have been. I think it was. I think it might have been like the Deathly Hallows or something.
Could have been.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's been a long time ago. I know that.
Yeah. So let's talk about GameStop for a minute.
Yes. Let's talk about GameStop here.
So Kotaku put out an article based on, and this is the title of the article. This is Jason Schreier posted this last Friday. It says, GameStop employee, we are all scared for our jobs. GameStop employees share their circle of life stories. So GameStop is described to a company strategy that they call the Circle of Life. The idea is that customers should buy their games, trade them into GameStop, and use the proceeds of those trades to buy more games. GameStop's profit margin for used games is way higher than it's for new games, so it's always been the company's best interest to push used products. Last fall, however, the company ramped up their goals with a far more aggressive policy that assigns each employee and each store a Circle of Life score based on several quotas, including pre-owned sales. Because pre-owned quota is based on percentage of the employee's total dollar transaction, this policy has punished GameStop staff for selling new games and systems.
Wow.
So
Which seems counterproductive.
It does, and so this article and we will give GameStop's response to this article as well as being fair.
Okay.
The thing about GameStop is I shop there occasionally, not that often. After this, probably not ever again. But if you go and trade in a game at GameStop, a brand new game, you're gonna get nothing for it.
Yeah, you get pennies.
You get pennies for it. Now, Best Buy does the same thing, and they're a little more generous. But if you're trading in a game, you're getting pennies for it. But I get what GameStop is trying to do. You trade in a game there, you get store credit there, you spend it there.
Mm-hmm.
But like these quotas and things like that, they basically said they've led employees to pressure customers into buying things they don't want, going to other underhanded tactics to actually hit their quotas, things like that. It's working for GameStop horror stories is not new.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is something we've heard for a long time, and it's one of those things that several people chimed into this article and said that they want to make like not every GameStop employee is like that. Not all of them are pushing like used car salesmen, doing underhanded things and stuff like that. Like they're not doing that. But when that's your job, that's your livelihood. Like you do what you got to do to feed your family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so this article got traction pretty quickly. And Kotaku is not a small publication. It says since reporting GameStop's commercial Circle of Life program on Wednesday, I've heard from nearly 100 current and former employers with thoughts and stories. Some of them wanted to point out they would never intentionally deceive customers. Others admitted they felt pressured to do so. A few wanted to defend GameStop, but almost all that said the Circle of Life program was making their jobs far more miserable. And that's the thing. You go into GameStop, sometimes it's not always like they're not always happy, cheery, anyways.
True.
But on the flip side, like there are some things that are GameStop that are like GameStop exclusives and stuff like that. And GameStop is since kind of changing their mindset a little bit about what they carry in terms of more like statues and stuff like that as well, which is cool.
Yeah. It helps. I mean, it at least gets people in the door.
Yeah.
I know I've personally gone into GameStop several times to buy some of the pop figures because they're exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So from Tony Bartel, from this is GameStop's response. It says, I want to take a moment to address an article that called into question our Circle of Life program and the exceptional service that you provide our customers every day. You have to wonder if Disney owns the trademark for Circle of Life just because of Lion King.
Oh.
You have to wonder. In their articles, there are behaviors described that indicated our Circle of Life program placed pressure on store associates to mislead customers on the value of certain products. Let me be clear on this. Nothing could be further from the truth. You and I know at GameStop it is absolutely our mission to help our customers get the best advice and price on any product we sell through buying, trading, pre-ordering, and earning points. I think that's a load of hoo-ah, but whatever.
Yeah, I would agree.
We want every customer to get the product and deal that is right for them, whether it's new or pre-owned video games, product, digital game, or collectibles. The Circle of Life program generates great value for the customer. Consider these facts. GameStop has issued approximately $1 billion of trade credits to our customers last year. 70% of the time, those trade dollars were immediately spent on new gaming products. I've heard from many of you concerning this and know that you work very hard to make sure our customers have a great experience. Thank you for that. While the behaviors described in news articles are disappointing, I know they don't represent the vast majority of our associates and how they treat our customers. Thank you again for all your hard work on creating great customer experiences. Your passion, knowledge, commitment to excellence motivate me. This is what sets GameStop apart from all others. Keep up the great work and power to the players. Tony. If that wasn't written by a marketing person, I don't know what was.
Oh yeah, that was a PR deal for sure. Because as sad as that sounds, how do you dig yourself out of that? Frankly, here's my thing. If I'm going to sell something, let's be honest, I'm gonna sell it on the internet, right? that you're going to make more money that way. You're going to
Mhm.
profit from it in some ways. So it just makes more sense. I mean, there are plenty of companies out there that will buy used things for an affordable price, or for a reasonable price, I mean. And for me, like, I'm not big into trading and all that, but I don't want anybody to feel like they've got to try to sell me something.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know. That makes me kind of feel gross about the whole thing. But
Yeah,
you know,
I despise shopping at places that are commission driven, like 100%
yeah, I don't like
commission
it either.
driven.
Mhm.
So much like there's a furniture store here in Tulsa that is 100% commission driven.
That you have to wear a sticker around once you talk to a salesman, so they leave you alone. Did you know that?
Which store are you talking about?
The one right over by Best Buy. I don't want to say the name.
So am I.
Okay.
But no, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize you had to be tagged.
Well, I mean, you don't have to. They can keep bothering you if you don't. But if you are talking to, so they greet you at the door. It's like you walk into a car dealership, but it's furniture.
Yeah.
And so they greet you at the door, and instantly you're trying to get your money, immediately. And so if they give you a tag with that person's name, all the salesmen will leave you alone.
There's another trick. There's a side door.
Oh, to sneak in?
That you can bypass the front door completely.
There you go.
Because they have like a little kids area, at least they used to.
Yeah.
And this is our buddy Matt turned me onto this. There's a side door. You can go in there. And a lot of times if there's salesmen on the floor, they're with other customers.
Yep.
And the rest of the salesmen that aren't with people are at the front waiting to give people stickers, apparently.
Yeah.
So you can get a little bit of time to yourself. But I hear the thing. I get they're trying to make a living, and I get that. I just don't like high-pressure sales environments. That's just not where... I just don't feel comfortable with that. Here's the thing, I bought furniture from there before.
Oh, we have too. Yeah.
It's just,
all of our furniture actually is from there.
So it's just a matter of... I don't know, a matter of personal preference, I guess.
I'm with you. That's what I do like about Best Buy, is when I go in, they're not on me from the get-go. They may be if I look like I'm lost, trying to say like, do you need any help? They're not pushing anything, and for me, that's kind of what I like. I'm just not a fan, because here's the thing. I'm an empathetic person by nature, and so when I know why somebody's being so pushy, it's hard for me to say no, and they prey on that, and that bothers me. And frankly, it's annoying too. Like, I just want to look. I don't want 50 questions asked, and I don't want to answer 50 questions. I just kind of want to see what I like, and then I'll ask if I have a question. So yeah, I'm with you. It makes me feel sad for these GameStop employees, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, if the place we were working is as toxic as some people are saying, that's nobody likes that. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure that we're going to hear more about this. Over the next
because that was a recent article. It wasn't like it's been floating around forever.
Yeah. So I think that
Superb Bowl.
Yeah, Superb Owl. Yeah.
So that's the last topic.
Yeah, Superb Owl.
All right.
So Superb Owl, aka Super Bowl, aka the big game, aka
stuff your face full of chips and Cheetos.
Absolutely, I'm already ordering pizza. So Cheetos sound good though. I love Cheetos.
Go for it, man.
I won't eat any on the podcast.
Use it with a fork. Then you don't have the little Cheeto dust. Learn that trick from Mitchell.
Okay, what?
Don't ask me. He said the other night when we were all online. I don't know if you may have not been there.
I wasn't. If he's talking about eating Cheetos with a fork, I didn't call him un-American.
He said that all of the people he works with laugh at him because he eats Cheetos with a fork. But
how do you stab a Cheeto with a fork and not break it?
Maybe he's scooping it. I don't know.
If he's scooping it, it's even worse.
He needs to describe this. Mitchell, if you're watching, you need to describe this.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about this. We'll be back next week with hey, we have video. We can have him eat Cheetos live. Like, we'll get a third camera and have him eat Cheetos with a fork while we'll watch it.
Perfect. I love it.
So, Super Bowl here, kickoff is in about 2 hours, 45 minutes from now.
Yeah. Party's been going on all week.
Yep, pretty much. So here's why you can't say Super Bowl.
Okay.
In advertising.
Okay.
If you own the trademark to a name,
mm-hmm.
aka like Super Bowl,
NFL owns Super Bowl, okay.
If you do not defend it when people use it, Yeah, exactly.
Let's
So,
be real.
and we cannot take credit for Superb Owl. That was a Stephen Colbert thing.
Yeah.
He basically said, if you enjoy my coverage of the big game, do use the Superb Owl hashtag, hashtag Superb Owl or Super Bowl.
Right.
So yeah, that's interesting there. So Super Bowl is good for two things: football and commercials.
Or just commercials.
Yeah, football and commercials. So there will be a couple commercials during this Super Bowl.
Just a few.
Mm-hmm. A couple we're going to talk about.
It's like the longest football game ever.
It's really no. I mean, the halftime is longer than normal, but it's a regular game.
Well, that's what I mean. Like TV time. It's the longest football game ever.
So a couple commercials. We're going to see the first look at Stranger Things season 2.
Yeah. So I heard about this. Let's talk it through, because I saw a picture yesterday that makes me like, I can't wait for the season, because they're in. Obviously, it's Halloween, and they're in Ghostbusters outfits.
Yes, they are.
Like, come on, that is perfect.
Yeah, this is from Entertainment Weekly. You can see that picture. Tim Stack posted this on February 3rd. Football schmootball. There's an even bigger reason to tune into Super Bowl this Sunday on Fox. EW can exclusively reveal that Netflix's pop culture phenomenon Stranger Things will air a new teaser during the massive sports event.
That's awesome.
EW is also debuting an image from the commercial featuring Dustin, Mike, and Lucas dressed as Ghostbusters.
Yes. Second
season takes place in 1984, 1 year after the events of the first season, which had otherwise just been shrouded in secrecy. It basically says the executive producer Sean Levy did offer this tease. The Demogorgon was destroyed, but the evil wasn't.
Okay. Let's hope it like say goes.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, speaking of Stranger Things, one of the things, and in this, we have a group chat that we do for our gaming group that I've been kind of blowing up with Funkos lately. There are Stranger Things Funko Pops.
Oh, yeah.
And I did not know this, and I need them now. Especially the fact that there's a Demogorgon with its face open and a Demogorgon with its face shut. And that's a Chase variant, so I won't find that one anytime soon. And then the 11. That one took the cake. There's an 11 without the wig, eating Eggos, and there's an 11 with the wig. And both boxes say 11 with Eggos.
Yep.
Love it.
Eggos.
Love it. I can't wait. I mean, that's awesome. And if you've not seen Stranger Things, what is wrong with you? I mean, really.
Yeah.
Like, the whole world is talking about Stranger Things.
It has been since it's been out.
You have to watch it. It's what, 8 episodes?
8 episodes.
8 hours of your life.
And you need to carve
it's a day
out
of work.
And you need to carve out 8 hours to watch it all at once. Like,
listen, if you can spend 8 hours at your job, you can spend 8 hours on the couch. It's that simple. Just do it.
There's another episode another thing on Netflix. A new series, not OA. It's like Santa Monica Diet or something like that.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing that, but it looks a little creepy with blood coming out of a cooler.
It's a zombie show.
Oh, okay.
Drew Barrymore,
okay.
Timothy Olyphant.
It's like Santa Clarita
Diet, something like that.
Yeah.
Watch the first couple episodes. It's pretty funny. Like it's gory.
But it's funny though.
But it's funny.
Okay.
Watch the first couple episodes. I'll probably finish that.
So I've been watching the OA.
I haven't watched it yet.
Mitchell got me turned on to the OA, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's a Stranger. It has a Stranger Things feel.
Okay.
But it is very much its own thing. It's very weird. It's like near death experience kind of a thing. And that's all I'll say about it, because you learn that like from the very get go. But yeah, just crazy stuff, and it's really a cool show. I mean, they have some really good acting. And good storytelling. The main character kind of looks like the dad from Stranger Things.
Okay.
I love his dad. Like, I don't know if they're related or whatever, but I mean, just facially, they look very similar.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's like a daughter or sister or something, but anyway, you know who I'm talking about. The dad. I love his dad.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of been my thing, and then I started watching House of Cards, man.
Oh yeah.
And I probably should not have watched it, because I'm kind of cynical about the government anyway.
Oh yeah,
but then I started watching it, I'm like, yeah, I bet that really does happen. You know, like it's so addicting.
It is.
It's such a good show.
It really is.
So anyway, yeah. So that's kind of what my stuff's been. I'm waiting desperately on Mr. Robot season 2, which should be this summer, or season 3. I mean, excuse me, should be this summer. Stranger Things season 2, which will probably also be this summer maybe.
It could be. Well, we're gonna get Iron Fist first.
Yeah, Iron Fist, yeah. And oh man, yeah, it's gonna be a good year, I hope. of just good Netflix stuff to just binge.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
just watch it
Like I
again.
said, it's a great time for television.
Absolutely.
Another Super Bowl ad, somewhat Star Wars related. Our buddy Kylo Ren, Adam Driver, is teaming up with Snickers this Sunday for something that's never been done before: a live Super Bowl commercial.
So is he going to be Adam Driver?
He
Is
will.
he going to be Kylo Ren?
He will be Adam Driver.
Okay. Is Kylo Ren going to be his alternative ego?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. The 30-second Western-themed commercial will air during the third quarter of the football game. Will feature a horse, quote, other less famous actors, and a showdown, all of which was revealed in teasers released this week. Apart from that, not much else is known about the content of the ad. So yeah, it's a Snickers ad. He said, why did you decide to participate in a live Super Bowl commercial? He said, I thought the Snickers commercials were hilarious and I'd seen them before. Just the stakes were really high, and during the Super Bowl, it's live as an interesting challenge. Live commercial.
Doesn't that just count as a show? Does that even count as a commercial?
It's 30 seconds, yeah.
Okay. All right. That's so weird.
So yeah, it's going to be. It says, apart from being, this is a question for EWS. Apart from being live, how will this commercial be different from Snickers' most recent Super Bowl commercials? He says, I can't really say about without giving it away. Obviously, the biggest thing is being live is a big risk on their part. Hiring me was a big risk on their part. But apart from that, I don't want to give away what happens. There's a horse in this one, and there wasn't one in any of them before. The equestrians out there will love it.
There you go. Okay, so we're having our live commercial.
A live commercial during that.
I've already sworn Joni off of not vacuuming during the Super Bowl.
She posted something today about when does the Super Bowl start, because that's when I'm going grocery shopping.
Yes. So we do shopping on the weekends like most people, right? And we are out of food at the Hughes household. So we are, So anyway, she's going to go grocery shopping during the Super Bowl.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Super Bowl 5:30.
Because it'll be dead.
It will be. Let's see here. What else we got? So a lot of money is bet on the Super Bowl. We don't know exactly how much yet.
Okay, I was going to say, like, how much?
Yeah. Here's a single bet. I'm just going to read this. This title. Super Bowl 51, $1 million bet placed on the Falcons to cover the point spread versus the Patriots.
Who has that kind of money?
Somebody who can afford to lose $1 million. The anonymous bettor is risking $1.1 million to win an additional $1 million to cover the points.
So when they say cover the points, what does that mean? Because I'm betting illiterate.
Let me read the actual definition. Let's because I can try and explain it, and it's not complicated, but
I just like my money too much. That's why I've never paid much attention to it.
Let's see.
I don't want to give it away to anybody.
Yeah.
I don't even like slot machines. And that's the thing, guys. If you're not in Oklahoma, you may live in a state where there is no gambling. Oklahoma has casinos. They've been here as long as Cab and I have been alive.
Oh yeah.
So for me, it's just another thing. I mean, I like going to Las Vegas and all that. It's neat to see, but in terms of gambling, I mean, I can do all of that here and not have to worry about getting in some hot waters in another state. But frankly, I like my money too much. I want to spend it how I want to spend it.
So covering the spread means that a favorite wins. So when there's a point spread, basically somebody's favored by a certain number of points. Like
right,
the last,
so like 5 points.
The last spread I saw for this game was 3 points.
Okay.
So
meaning that one of the teams will win by 3 and one will lose by 3.
Well, the Patriots are favored by 3.
Okay, so they're going to potentially win by 3.
Yep. So covering the spread means that a favorite wins the event with the handicap taken into account, or the underdog wins with additional points.
Okay.
So basically, it's that they will either lose by less than 3.
Okay.
Or the Falcons will win, basically.
So either way, does he win?
Yes.
Okay, so if they lose by 3, if they cover the spread.
If the Falcons lose by 3, would they cover the spread if they lose by 3? I don't know if that's covering the spread or not. They'd have to lose by 2.
Okay.
2 or I assume it'd be 2 or less, but I don't gamble either. Yeah. So, but let's see, point spread betting. Let's see.
Either way, though, $1 million. $1
million.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Yep.
Like I can't even imagine where I really cannot wrap my brain around living such a life where that much money is just like, yeah, okay, I'll go ahead and bet it.
Yeah. So here's the deal: is Patriots are favored by 3 points.
Okay.
The bettor wins if the underdog wins.
Okay.
and they win if the underdog loses, but the margin of victory is less than the spread, so it has to
be
2 points, 2 or less. Yeah.
Okay.
So if they win, great. If they lose, you better hope they lose by 2, which is unusual.
Right.
Not impossible, but unusual in. I mean, a 2-point game is not unusual, but it's certainly not as common as a 3-point game.
Right.
So I'm still sticking with the Falcons. They're going to win this game, even though they're the underdogs. I have not bet anything.
That's shocking to me that they're the underdogs. Is it just because the Patriots have won so many?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the Patriots. I mean, that's there's a certain dynasty kind of building with the Patriots, and they consistently put up competitive teams. But man, I don't know if they've seen an offense like Atlanta. Like, and this is it's. And I'm not even really an Atlanta fan, but like watching what they did to the Packers and kind of what they've done this year, like the quarterback for Atlanta won the MVP last night at the NFL Honors Awards. He won Offensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's their offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan. I think he won like coordinator or assistant coach of the year, something like that. Like everything is lining up, but never underestimate the Patriots. Like that's the thing. Like I'm not a Pats fan by any stretch of the imagination. I cannot stand them. When we were doing the group break at the card shop yesterday, every time I said Patriots, I very subtly went boo.
Oh, I thought for sure you would been letting air out of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. If they win, you're gonna have to check those footballs.
Well, the footballs are being checked throughout games now, anyways. So. That
was the craziest thing I think I've ever seen kind of in a professional sport.
Well, and what's funny about that is they call it Deflategate.
Right.
Is they got punished and all this stuff, and eventually the Patriots just kind of stopped fighting about it.
Mm-hmm.
But Roger Goodell, the commissioner, has avoided the Patriots for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be something else if he has to hand them a Super Bowl trophy, or if he has to hand Tom Brady the MVP trophy, or something like that. Like. The Patriots want to win just to shove it in his face.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and to some respect, I can understand and even respect that on some level.
But if you cheated, you cheated.
But the science that the NFL used to say they did this or did that or whatever, it was pseudoscience. Like it wasn't. Okay. And so, I mean, there's no doubt that some of the balls were underinflated to a certain extent.
But who did it?
Was it done maliciously? Weather factors, all these things. Like. There's a lot of outside factors for that.
Gotcha.
But it's one of those things that now they just want to see what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. That'll make for really good bad lip sync.
There's already new bad lip sync for the 2017 season. There's going to be a Super Bowl, and I love bad lip sync so much.
And if they win, and Goodell has to present them the awards, you got to think about that. Like, that's perfect. That is prime.
I don't know who does.
I mean, that is as good as the stuff that they were doing for Inauguration Day when the Trumps and the Obamas were at the front of the White House. I mean, that was equally as good.
Yeah.
It's just I love those things. They're so funny, and they do it so well that it really does look like people are saying that.
Oh yeah,
it's just insane.
I don't know how they make it look and work so well, but those guys are incredibly talented.
Yes, absolutely, and the football ones are absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I think they started with football.
I think so too.
And that's what kind of got them rolling. So for the one other thing for the most, I don't know what you want to call him in terms of just being a stud in general. Alex Mack, the center for the Atlanta Falcons, fractured his fibula in the NFC Championship game 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
He's starting the Super Bowl. He's playing with a fractured fibula. Dude is a stud.
No, that's your arm.
Leg.
Right? Leg.
Yeah, leg. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, fractured left fibula. Says Pro Bowl center Alex Mack will play Super Bowl 51. With a fracture in his left fibula they suffered during the NFC Championship game. This is Adam Schefter from ESPN. One source said if this were the regular season, Alex Mack would miss 6 to 8 weeks.
Game check.
He said, Falcons staff is confident Mack will hold up in pass blocking, uncertain whether he'll be effective in downfield blocks or whether his leg will hold up. Mack didn't practice in the week of the NFC Championship game, limited practice this past week. He did do full speed practice on Wednesday and Thursday. They liked what they saw. He will receive a pain-killing injection, of course. The fracture of...
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, they do that. It's allowed.
I know, but here's the thing. In the era of Lance Armstrong being raked over the coals over his Tour de France wins based on him cheating with EPO, and don't get me wrong, he cheated. I'm not denying that. But in that era, how is giving a pain injection?
It's so common in the NFL.
How is that not performance enhancing in some way?
It depends. Like if you've got a sore shoulder or something like that, you get a painkilling injection and you're off and running.
Like cortisone or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It says the fracture occurred above the plate that Mack had inserted in his left leg after he broke his fibula in 2014.
Oh, jeez.
The plate may have helped support the leg, which he suffered could be called a chip fracture.
Ugh. That sounds painful.
Yeah. He was hurt in the second quarter of the win against the Green Bay Packers. He left the game for one play and then re-entered and still sitting out for the final series.
Wow.
So he's been working a lot with his backups and things like that for this game. Going to be real curious because he's a key to the Falcons running game for sure. Hey, look like Ryan from the team. Hey, Ryan, what's up, dude?
What's up, man?
So he's key in their running game because Falcons have a heck of a running game. They got two really good running backs. But part of that is Alex Mack can move downfield and make those holes for them to run in.
Mm-hmm.
If he lacks that ability, the ability to block downfield, that can make things a little more difficult for them. It's crazy.
I've had broken bones. I can't imagine bearing my weight on one.
Oh yeah,
and then the weight of somebody else pushing again. That's just crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what else to say, but holy cow.
You know what? You're playing the Super Bowl. You work your entire professional career for this. You can shoot me up with whatever you want.
And I'm saying, I guarantee you there's something in his contract that says if we get to a Super Bowl and, I make this number of plays,
then
there's a percentage that I'm going to get back. There's a performance thing.
There's usually performance kickers in people's contracts for reaching playoffs and Super Bowls. A lot of times that's more in coaches than players, but that is certainly an opportunity.
I just think of any given Sunday.
Yeah.
The dude's got like he takes one more hit to his neck, he's gonna be paralyzed.
Yep.
And it happens. He's like, did I make the yardage? And they're like, yeah, you did. And he's like, all right, cool, take me away.
Yeah.
He's like, you're not getting back up anyway, dude. But
yeah, that's
crazy.
When you, like I said, you work your whole life for this particular thing.
I get it.
And he's came. I think Alex Mack came from the Browns, which you've heard us make fun of a lot. To go from the worst team in football to potentially the best team in football, I don't. You never doubt this guy's toughness for sure. And he hasn't missed a play. He's
like a game. You mean
a game? Yeah, he's a tough. He's a tough player. Some players they stub their toe and they come off to the side of the field. Some players
with turf toe. Yeah.
Some players will just play through just about anything.
I wonder if they'll wrap it to kind of give it some more support.
I'm sure they'll talk about it, what they're going to do wherever it happens.
But you got to think that news came out. Not that I know that they don't do targeting. I know that's like a big no-no.
Oh, they're going right at it.
What was it? The Saints that got in trouble for it.
Yeah, so, Bounty Gate.
Yeah, so I know that's a big deal. But you got to. When
you're
looking for a competitive edge.
They're going right for it.
Right,
the Patriots are going right for it.
As wrong as that is, it is what it is.
They're going to go right for it. And here's the thing. Alex Mack's the center. He is where the ball is.
Yeah, he's getting it.
Yeah, and so, but the thing is, because of where the fracture is in the leg and everything like that, if they go low, he could drop, and they're going to get flagged for going low. Because you can't really, you can't chop block people at their knees and stuff anymore. So,
of course, it's kind of like one of those other championship games. Sometimes things get go.
Yeah, I'll be curious. I'll be real curious with all the attention that's been paid to all the bad officiating this year. I'll be real curious if they kind of let them play ball or if they're going to call every little thing.
Whatever happened to that the first female referee?
She was there during the preseason. I don't think she's there in the regular season. I know she's not on the playoff crew.
Okay.
But that's not uncommon because a lot of times to be on a playoff crew, you have to have 5-6 years of experience.
Sure.
She may have been there during the preseason.
Okay.
But eventually that's going to happen too.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. I just didn't. Yeah. I never followed up with what was actually happening.
Yeah. So all right. Well, we're going to wrap this up because I have to cut this before the Super Bowl starts.
It's important stuff.
I got to produce all this stuff. Thanks for joining on Facebook, everybody. Facebook Live. It's one of those things. It's easy-ish it's easiest for us to do, and so we're going to keep doing it. We'll throw up on YouTube and stuff like that. People watch it later if you want to. see, like I said, see your ugly mugs as we talk about nerd stuff. So
Yeah.
shirts are going to be, shirts that we said before, shirts are available. If you want it, hit us up on email, gatherthenerds@gmail.com. If you're having to watch and you hear this, when we post our, if you want to throw just a post up or something or comment on this Facebook Live, and you predict the score correctly of the game,
there you go,
and you pick the winner, we're going to send you a shirt.
Yes, sir.
Unless you're a Patriots fan, then you're automatically
disqualified. You get a deflated football. Sorry.
Exactly. I'm going to send you a deflated football with GTN written on it.
There you go.
In
there
like
you go.
Sharpie.
Yeah, there you go.
And so. So we'll do that as well, but shirts are available.
$20 a piece or 25 shipped, right?
Yeah, $20 if you're local, 25 shipped. They come in 30 colors, we can get them any number, and they're nice shirts too.
We need to figure out a way to post that link to get the colors out.
Yeah, we'll figure out a way to do that. But thanks for joining us for the Superb Owl Meta-Weasel edition of Gather the Nerds episode 28. GatherTheNerds@gmail.com. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. Obviously, we're on Facebook because you're seeing our faces.
Seeing us here.
We're gonna do more box breaks. We're gonna do more fun stuff like that because that's the world we live in. So we're gonna have a lot more fun with that. So as for Gather the Nerds, I'm Cav.
I'm Nick.
We'll see you in the Upside Down. Go Falcons.
See you guys.